Hello, and welcome. If you are here right now, there is a quite possibility that something inside you feels uncertain, maybe even heavy. You might be questioning your path, your decisions, or even your purpose itself. Perhaps you wake up feeling unmotivated, or you move through your day with a sense that something is missing even if everything looks fine from the outside. First, let me gently tell you this: you are not alone in feeling this way. And more importantly, there is nothing wrong with you. There comes a time in many people's lives when the direction they were following no longer feels meaningful. The goals that once excited you may now feel distant or empty. This is not failure, this is awareness. It is the beginning of a deeper search. In the teachings of the Buddha, this feeling is not something to escape from, but something to understand. It is seen as a moment of awakening, a quiet signal from within, asking you to pause, to reflect, and to realign. So for the next few minutes, I invite you to slow down with me. There is nothing you need to prove here. No rush to figure out your entire life. Instead, we will take this step by step, gently exploring what it means to feel lost, and how you can begin to rediscover a sense of direction and meaning. As you listen, allow yourself to be open. You don't need to agree with everything, just observe what resonates with your own experience. Take a slow breath in and out. Let us begin this journey together. What feeling lost really means. Now, let us begin by gently understanding what it truly means to feel lost. Often, when people say, "I feel lost," what they are really experiencing is not the absence of direction, but the absence of clarity. It is that quiet confusion where nothing feels completely right, yet nothing feels completely wrong either. You may find yourself moving through routines, working, talking, scrolling, but without a deeper sense of connection to what you are doing. This feeling can show up in different ways. For some, it feels like emptiness, a lack of excitement or purpose. For others, it appears as anxiety, a constant questioning, "Am I doing the right thing?" And sometimes, it is a subtle restlessness, the sense that life could be more, but you cannot quite see how. In Buddhist understanding, this state is closely related to what is called dukkha, a kind of dissatisfaction or unease that exists when the mind is not aligned with reality. It is not necessarily suffering in a dramatic sense, but a quiet discomfort that follows us when we are disconnected from our true nature. And here is something important to understand. Feeling lost is not a mistake. It is a message. It often arises when the life you are living no longer reflects who you are becoming. Perhaps you have outgrown certain goals, expectations, or identities, but you have not yet discovered what comes next. So instead of resisting this feeling, I invite you to observe it gently. Right now, if you can, pause for a moment. Take a slow breath in and out. And ask yourself, without judgment, where in my life do I feel most disconnected? You don't need to solve it immediately. Just noticing it clearly is the first step toward finding your way again. Clarifying values before chasing purpose. Now that we have gently understood what it means to feel lost, let us take the next step, and this step is very important. Most people begin by asking, "What is my purpose?" But this question, although powerful, can sometimes create more pressure than clarity. So instead, let us begin somewhere simpler and more grounded. Let us begin with your values. Values are not big, distant achievements. They are not titles, success, or recognition. Values are the quiet principles that shape how you live, how you think, and how you treat others. They are like an inner compass, subtle but deeply reliable. When you feel lost, it is often not because you lack purpose. It is because you have lost connection with what truly matters to you. In Buddhist teachings, There is great emphasis on living in alignment with right intention, acting from clarity, compassion, and awareness rather than confusion or external pressure. When your actions are guided by these inner qualities, a sense of direction begins to emerge naturally. So let us try something very simple together. Take a moment and ask yourself, what truly matters to me beyond expectations, beyond comparison? You may find answers like kindness, growth, honesty, freedom, learning, peace. Do not overthink this. Just allow whatever feels genuine to arise. Now, gently choose 3 values that resonate with you right now. And once you have them, ask yourself one more question. Are my daily actions reflecting these values even in small ways? If the answer is no, that is okay. There is no judgment here. Because this is where clarity begins. Purpose is not something you suddenly discover one day. It is something that slowly forms when your daily life starts aligning with what truly matters to you. So rather than chasing a big, perfect purpose, begin by living your values one small action at a time. And from there, your path will begin to reveal itself. Returning to the present, finding clarity in stillness. Now, let us move to something very simple, yet deeply powerful. When you feel lost, the mind often becomes noisy. It keeps jumping between the past, what did I do wrong? And the future, what should I do next? And in this constant movement, something important is lost. The present moment. But the truth is, clarity does not come from overthinking the past or predicting the future. Clarity begins when the mind becomes still enough to see things as they are. In the teachings of the Buddha, great importance is given to awareness of the present moment, because only in this moment can you truly observe your thoughts, your emotions, and your inner state without distortion. So rather than trying to immediately fix your life, let us first learn to pause. If you are comfortable, take a moment right now. Gently bring your attention to your breath. Not changing it, not controlling it, just noticing it. Feel the air as it enters and as it leaves. If your mind wanders, and it will, that is completely natural. Just notice it and softly bring your attention back to your breath. Stay here for a few seconds. What you are doing right now may seem very small. But this simple act is the foundation of clarity. Because when the mind slows down, even slightly, you begin to see your thoughts more clearly, instead of being carried away by them. And in that space, something shifts. You realize that not every thought needs to be followed. Not every fear needs to be believed. This is where confusion begins to dissolve. You don't need to have all the answers right now. You only need to be present enough to take the next small step. So whenever you feel overwhelmed or directionless, return to this. Your breath. This moment. This awareness. And from here, clarity will begin to unfold naturally and gently. From searching to creating, how purpose gently emerges. Now, let us explore a subtle shift that can change everything. Many people spend years asking, what is my purpose? They search for it as if it is something fixed, something waiting somewhere outside them to be discovered. But this way of thinking can quietly create pressure and even frustration. So let me offer you a gentler perspective. Purpose is not something you find. It is something you slowly create. In both Buddhist wisdom and modern psychology, there is a shared understanding life is not meant to be fully figured out in advance. Instead, it unfolds through your actions, your awareness, and your willingness to engage with the present. Think of it this way. You do not need to see the entire path to begin walking. You only need to see the next step. So rather than waiting for a perfect sense of direction, let us try a different approach, a simple, practical one. Start small. Choose one action that aligns with your values, something meaningful, but not overwhelming. It could be learning something new, helping someone, creating something, or simply showing up more consciously in your daily life. Then, give yourself a little time, a few days or a week, and gently observe. How does this make me feel? Does it give me energy or drain me? Does it feel aligned or forced? There is no right or wrong answer here, because every small action gives you feedback, and this feedback becomes your guide. In this way, your life becomes less about making one big, perfect decision, and more about exploring, learning, and adjusting. This approach removes the pressure of needing certainty. You are no longer stuck waiting for purpose to appear. You are actively shaping it, step by step. And over time, something beautiful begins to happen. What once felt unclear starts to feel a little more meaningful. What once felt confusing begins to feel like a path. So be patient with yourself. You are not behind. You are in the process of discovering what truly resonates with you. And that process is your purpose unfolding. Building gentle habits that create direction. Now that we have understood how purpose begins to take shape through small, meaningful actions, let us make this even more practical. Because insight alone is not enough. What truly transforms your life are the small habits you return to every day. When you feel lost, it is often because your days feel unstructured, reactive, or disconnected. The mind keeps searching for clarity, but without consistent action, that clarity never fully settles. So instead of waiting to feel motivated, let us quietly build a few simple, grounding habits. Not to overwhelm you but to support you. Let us begin with something very small. At the end of each day, take just 5 minutes to reflect. Ask yourself, gently, what felt meaningful today? And what felt draining? You don't need long answers. Just a few honest observations. Over time, this simple practice will begin to reveal patterns, what brings you closer to yourself, and what takes you away. Next, once a week, give yourself a little more space, perhaps 15 or 20 minutes. Look back on your week and ask, what did I learn about myself? What do I want to continue, and what do I want to change? This is how awareness deepens. Another gentle practice is learning to say no, not harshly, but consciously. Each time you say no to something that does not align with your values, you create space for something that does. And finally, include at least one small act of growth or contribution in your week. It could be reading a few pages, learning a new skill, or helping someone in a simple way. These actions may seem small, but they anchor you. Because when your days begin to reflect your values even in quiet, consistent ways, a sense of direction starts to form naturally. You no longer feel completely lost. You may not know the entire path yet, but you begin to trust that you are moving in the right direction. And sometimes, that is more than enough. When to seek support and trusting the path ahead. Now, as we come closer to the end of this journey together, there is something important we must speak about gently and honestly. Sometimes, feeling lost is not just a phase of reflection. Sometimes, it can feel heavier, more persistent, and harder to move through on your own. If you notice that your days feel consistently empty, that you are losing interest in things you once cared about, or that even small tasks feel overwhelming. Please understand, this is not something you have to carry alone. Seeking support is not a sign of weakness. It is an act of awareness and of care for yourself. You may choose to speak with someone you trust, a friend, a mentor, or a guide. Or, if needed, a trained professional who can support you with deeper clarity and tools. There is strength in allowing yourself to be supported. And even beyond difficult moments, there is another truth I would like you to remember. Your path does not need to be perfectly clear for it to be meaningful. In many wisdom traditions, including the teachings of the Buddha, life is not seen as a fixed destination, but as a continuous unfolding. You are not expected to have all the answers right now. You are only asked to stay present, to stay aware, and to take one honest step at a time. So before we close, let us do one final, simple practice together. Take a slow breath in and out, and ask yourself, very gently, what is one small action I can take today that feels true to me? Not perfect, not life-changing, just true. Hold that answer with kindness. And if you can, act on it today. Because purpose is not built in grand moments. It is built in these quiet, sincere choices. Trust this process. Even if it feels slow, even if it feels uncertain. You are not standing still. You are becoming. And that, in itself, is a meaningful path. And now, as we come to the end of this time together, I would like you to pause for just a moment and notice how you feel. Not how you think you should feel, but what is truly present within you right now. Maybe there is still some confusion. Maybe there is a little calm. Or perhaps just a slight shift, something small but real. Whatever it is, that is perfectly okay. Because this journey is not about suddenly having everything figured out. It is about becoming a little more aware, a little more honest, and a little more connected to yourself with each step. If there is one thing I hope you take away from this, it is this. You are not behind in life. You are not lost forever. You are simply in a moment of transition. And these moments, although uncomfortable, are often where the deepest clarity begins to form. So be patient with yourself. You do not need to rush your path. You do not need to compare your journey to anyone else's. Just continue, slowly, gently, taking one small step that feels true to you. And that will be enough. If this video resonated with you in any way, you may choose to support this space by liking the video or subscribing to the channel. And if you feel comfortable, you can share in the comments. What is one small step you will take today? I would truly appreciate hearing from you. Thank you for being here and for allowing yourself this moment of reflection. Take care of yourself. And I will see you again very soon.